So here we go. As promised, as a reminder to you of the grammar that we studied last week, I'm recording a video tutorial of the mixed conditionals that you had some trouble with. So let's have a look. So the second conditional. The second conditional, as we said, is about the present, but it's not a situation that in the sentence, the situation is not as it is now. So it is unlikely, we see it as unlikely. That's why we use a second conditional, not a first conditional, because first conditional is when you think it is possible. For example, if we were at school now, we would be more active than we're now. But the real situation is that we're all stuck at homes and we cannot go out much, so we're not really active at all. That's why, because we see it as unlikely, we're unlikely to be at school today or tomorrow or next week, we use second conditional. If we were at school now, we would be more active than we are now. So the structure we have here in the main clause, we have would plus the base form of the verb, so would be. And in the if clause, we have past simple, or as I said, instead of was, we always use were. Now, again, as I said before, instead of would, you can have could, you can have other modal verbs in the past, and instead of past simple or would plus be plus verb ing is also possible, but the general rule, if we're looking at it, is would plus verb 1 plus past simple or were. Now let's move on to the third conditional. So the third conditional is about the past, but it's completely the opposite to what happened or didn't happen in the past. So it is impossible or unreal because we cannot go back to the past, we cannot change anything, hence it's not unlikely, but it's impossible. So the example: if we hadn't had an unexpected holiday at the beginning of March, we would have written all the tests then. But the reality is that we were told that we should stay at home, and that was counted as our spring break. So during that week, all the tests that you had to write were not written. So the structure: in the main clause, we have would plus have plus verb 3, and in the if clause, you have had plus verb 3, which means that if the verb is regular, then you just add ed. If the verb is irregular, then you use the third form of that verb. So what happens then if part of the situation in the sentence is about the present and part of the situation in the sentence is about the past? So that's where we get the mixed conditional. So it's mixed because it refers partly to the present and partly to the past. Now let's have a look at some examples. So, as I said, half of it is true until now, until the present times, and half is left in the past. So, in the past, we had a holiday from the 2nd to the 9th of March. And now, at present, we're not on holiday this week. So, if we want to combine these two, we will say, if we hadn't had a holiday from the 2nd till the 9th of March, we would be on holiday now. Pay attention to the comma. If the sentence starts in any conditional, if the sentence starts with the if clause, it is separated from the main clause by a comma. And there is no comma if we start with the main clause. We would be on holiday now if we hadn't had one from the 2nd to the 9th of March. So here in the if clause, we have third conditional, part of the third conditional. In the main clause, we have part of the second conditional. Another example is, if we had more free time, we would have gone to Italy with our friends in February. So our friends were going to Italy in February, and we couldn't go because we didn't have free time. And until now, we don't really have any free time. So the situation with having free time, not having it, to be more precise, is true until now. But the trip to Italy is left in February, which is more than a month ago now. So that's why we need to mix the conditionals. If we had more free time, we would have gone to Italy with our friends in February. So in this case, in the if clause, we use part of the second conditional. In the main clause, we use part of the third conditional. So as you can see, in the mixed conditional, depending on which part of the sentence is about the present, which part of the sentence is about the past, you choose the grammar structure that corresponds to that conditional, basically. Yeah, whether in the if clause you have situation at present, or in the main clause you have situation at present. You just pick and choose like that. That's it.